Welcome, panel, to Civil Discourse. We have a few questions. It's going to be a rapid fire session. Please take it as it goes. Let me know who wants to answer first, but you only have about 30 seconds for your answer. Here we go. Actress Kim Basinger is actively opposed to Koreans eating dog meat in their own country. Should we interfere with other cultures' eating habits? Bilha?
No, we should not.
Why not?
They should be able to eat whatever they want as long as they think it's healthy for them. Then they can. Although it might not be healthy to eat dogs, but we tell them what they can or cannot eat.
Not healthy for the dogs, for sure.
I would say no U.S. interference, except if we get to cannibalism, then there probably has to be some interference. Because I don't know if there are many people that can stand by and watch that happen. And by the way, this is Sonia and Bilha. If no one is familiar with them, they haven't been on Civil Discourse yet. So
who do we have here? We have Michael. Say hello. Bilha.
Hi.
Paul.
You know me. Yeah.
And Sonia. Hi. Okay, very well. Sonia, what do you think about Koreans eating dog meat? Are you for? Are you against?
She's a pet lover. I just wanted you to know that.
Okay.
Personally, if I were over there, no, I would not.
You wouldn't?
I think in eating dog meat, but again, cultural differences, I have to respect what they're used to.
Okay.
How do you feel about cannibalism?
Human flesh, the sweetest of all.
That's where we all draw the line?
Your answer, Michael?
My answer is, let them do what they want. It's in their culture. As long as, it's regulated, they treat it like we treat cattle here. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me. I've never eaten it, so I can't say if I'd like it or not.
But why should they regulate it? I'm just curious, because if they, like people that have a culture of street food...
it's not... You just don't want them to take any dog off the street that might have diseases and stuff like that. It'd be like us raising cows that are just in the middle of nowhere.
But isn't that imposing
diseases?
Isn't that imposing U.S. standards?
Yes, it probably is standards, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about should they be able to eat the animal or not.
Right, they should be allowed to. We all agree with that, but you're saying they should have...
I think it should be regulated in a healthy way.
But the U.S. shouldn't interfere.
No,
right?
No, they shouldn't interfere.
If they want to eat a stray dog and just eat it without it having health inspected.
It's true, absolutely.
Right, that's the whole point. Is the U.S. interference? How much should the U.S. interfere?
Very low.
Okay, guys, thanks for that answer. Let me tell you, right after this, if you pay attention to the screen, we went to the streets and we talked to the regular public. We asked them the same question, and this is what they answered.
I'm opposed to it, but I would not interfere with the practices of another culture. That's for them to decide.
I don't think so, because it's none of our business, actually.
Plus, it might be tasty. You never know, right?
Right, because I'm African and we eat different kind of stuff, so.
Welcome back. So, you ready for another question? Here we go. Are you comfortable with a transgender person using the public bathroom you're in? Anybody?
I'm totally comfortable with it. I don't mind at all, but I think there has to be lines drawn in terms of children and locker rooms. Locker rooms I think is a little different. I don't mind actually if a transgender woman uses the men's locker room, but I feel like more women would care.
And by locker rooms, you mean like places where we lock them up, or?
No, I'm talking about like the gym, like at LA Fitness, let's say.
Okay, Sonia, what do you think about that? You're in the public bathroom, and a man who is a transgender going towards being a woman goes in and wants to use the bathroom next to you.
I don't have a problem with it. I actually have friends who are transgender. It doesn't bother me. It's just, again, just respecting who they are.
Okay. So you live by that old code of pee and let pee?
Well, what about the locker room?
But I guess if you're uncomfortable with the locker room, maybe you're supposing that, you know, a transgender person is looking at you in a way where they're attracted to you. And I don't think I'd have a problem with it. It's one thing if somebody is outwardly hitting on you, that's something else. But I mean, if they're just in there like everybody else changing their clothes, I mean, you have women who are lesbians. I mean,
it was a slightly different point I was trying to make. I actually don't care. I couldn't care less. In fact, if someone's homosexual in the men's locker room, I don't know. Obviously, I don't care if they're there.
Right.
But I meant if let's say there are 5 transsexuals and they all still have their male parts and they undress in front of you or maybe your mom, is there a point where maybe it's a little uncomfortable?
I'd say it would probably be uncomfortable, but at the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily my place to kick someone out of the locker room.
Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be your job. Bill, what do you think about it?
First of all, I personally don't know why that should be such a big deal. But in case of, I think it's about the person. I really believe it's about the person. If the person is there just doing their own thing and they're not using, if that becomes a policy, they're not using it as a reason to now go to the other bathroom to do other things that they're not supposed to do, then I have a problem. But if they're there living their life, they're going to the gym, they're coming back, they're doing their thing, then they're doing their thing just like everybody else in the world.
Okay, Michael, any?
Yeah, well, I agree with Bill Ha on that. I guess where my concern comes in is when you're talking about the high school level, when you get to the younger grade levels, that's where my concern is. And in an adult environment, we have the right to choice. We're more mature. We can make more of a logical, sound decisions on what to do. But I think in a high school, then there should be some limits on what can happen there. For the same reasons that you stated, are they doing it for the right reasons, or are they just doing it to make
as an excuse?
Right, exactly,
Something
exactly.
else.
Okay, point taken. Let's look at what the public said.
You have to go. It doesn't matter who you are.
I don't have a problem with that. If that's how they've chosen to lead their lives and they're going a certain direction, that doesn't bother me.
I really don't mind as long as they're not in my space. But I am comfortable with it.
Alrighty then, next question. You guys remember the baker who refused baking a wedding cake for a gay couple for religious objections? What's your take on that? Paul?
I personally would not refuse to make their cake, but I think it is their right. It's a free country. If they don't want to make it for religious reasons, that's fine with me.
Okay, Sonia, any ideas?
I need to think on that one a little
Okay, no problem. You're not a baker, are you?
bit. No.
Okay, Bill, what do you think about that?
I think business is business. Money is green. Like if you're gonna pay me to do the service that I'm good at, then I'm gonna do it. Now, if I knew these people personally, for me everything is more personal. If I knew these people personally and I had some type of understanding, and let's say I'm trying to do something with someone that I know, and personally I would say I'm a Christian, and I'm not saying that if I'm a Christian I'm not gonna bake the cake for the people. I'm just saying if the people are paying me to do the service and that's what they want to do, then I will bake the cake. But if it's someone else that I know personally, then that's a whole different thing.
Should someone be
So
allowed
business-
not to?
No.
They should never be allowed to refuse service?
I'm not gonna mix business with
Yeah.
personal things. I'm a Christian, but if I have a business that bakes cake and somebody wants me to use my skill to do that, then I will.
Would you? No. What I'm saying is, if someone else, not you, a baker says, religiously, I can't bake a cake for a homosexual couple. Are you okay with them saying I can't?
No, that's not okay. I don't think that's.
So they should be forced to bake the cake.
No, they shouldn't be forced. Nobody should be forced to do anything, in my opinion.
But so they should have the right to.
They should have the right to say yes or no.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, Michael?
But me personally, I'm gonna bake the cake.
Right.
It's what I
Right.
do. It's money, right?
Right, you want to make that money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we get the point, Bill. You're a Christian who loves money. I like that.
Yes.
Michael?
Well, I'm a Christian who loves money too. So as far as the money goes, if it was my own issue, I wouldn't have a problem with baking the cake. But I do feel like, if a person's a company, and they do just have these religious objections of being able to do it, then they shouldn't be forced to do it. That's just like I don't know, any other major corporation. Like for example, Chick-fil-A had come under fire
For the same reasons, I think,
for
wasn't it?
similar reasons.
Okay, so that's okay. You're saying it's your business.
I think it's your business. You have the right to choose or not.
Okay.
Are they being judgmental? Or they? And yeah, there's no doubt about they're definitely being judgmental.
Okay, thank you. I'm going back to Sonia, who's had enough time to think about it. So, I'm gay, you bake, I come in, would you bake for me or not?
Yes. I guess for me, I would not allow my religious beliefs to prevent me from baking the cake for you or providing a service for you. I mean, I look at it as like it's... I'm trying to think of how to say this. I feel that I can have my own reasons for it, but at the same time, I don't want to impose those on somebody else.
Okay, so what you're saying is what's God has to do with baking?
Yeah, I feel like there's way more ways to touch someone's lives other than refusing the one thing that they think they want the most. You can still provide the service, and in the process of that, you can tell them what you think. Not outright just refusing someone, because we have all done wrong things. And sometimes it's more helpful to be welcoming than just shutting down somebody. And then they'd be like, why are you so kind about that? What makes you like this? And then they might be interested to know more about why you believe in who you believe.
Okay.
I know this is going to go far. So
No, it's
I
not.
wanna-
We have to stop you right here.
Okay.
So
no, I mean like the video, so I don't want to just concentrate.
I already cut you off.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's see what the public has to say about that.
Okay.
Again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but in this day and age, I would hope that people would be able to get past the ignorance and the bias for things like that. Again, a gay couple, if they're happy and in love, God bless them.
About that.
I thought that was ridiculous. I mean, it shouldn't matter. In this case, making a cake for somebody that maybe you don't agree with of how they're running their lives, that I disagree with that.
Well, I remember that vaguely, but if he's in a business to make money, he should make the money, But then he got his religious beliefs, so that's kind of give or take either way.
I mean, he's obligated to do whatever he wants. That's his religion. I'll never go against my religion. I can't say I'm anti-gay, but I wouldn't do stuff like that anyway, if my religion doesn't allow that.
And here we go again. Ex-Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders was denied service at the Red Hen restaurant for her political alliance to Trump. What are your thoughts? Bilha?
To be honest, I really don't. I don't know why all this being refused this, being refused that is a thing. Like, we were all born the same way. I know it's sad, we'll all die the same way. Like, I don't understand why all the hatred, and so that, to me, like, that was really not necessary. I don't.
Okay, Paul?
It is similar to when they protested against Ted Cruz when he was eating dinner with his wife in a restaurant. I personally don't think you should do that. You shouldn't harass somebody in a restaurant. You shouldn't go to their house and harass them. People have a right to eat in peace because of political differences. I don't really think it's productive to do that. I mean, imagine if President Obama had wanted to eat in a restaurant and they said, no, we don't like the fact that you're a Democrat. Well, it would have been an uproar. that's exactly the same situation, but on a smaller scale.
But let me ask you, I mean, everybody kind of said before about the cake that it should be the owner's decision. And I haven't heard you say that in the case of this restaurant, for political reasons, denied Sarah service. I haven't heard you say they should have the right to do it too.
I think religion and politics are completely different.
So religion allows you to cut off someone, politics doesn't. Not according to the Constitution, I think. What do you think? I mean,
Cash is cash. You're providing a service. You're baking a cake.
I was gonna say.
let's go to the money corner here.
Yes.
Vilha and Michael.
No, I think it's. I don't think it matters if it's political or religion. They're providing a service, and in her case, what they did was wrong. It was actually the owner, refused service after some people complained that they were there in the restaurant. To me, it's the same thing as religion. There's a bias there. The bias happened to be, in this case, a political bias versus a religious bias.
Sonia, anything to add to this?
I'm trying to think of.
God, I'm hungry, Sonia. Are you gonna give me food or not? Oh God, I better go to another restaurant. So let's see what the public said about this. All right?
Okay.
I don't think political reasons or political beliefs belong when you're in a public place like a public restaurant. If your doors are open, they should be open to everybody, unless they're behaving in a manner that demands they not be there.
Because when you have to eat, right?
Right. When you're hungry, you have to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with Sarah Huckabee on a lot of things, but that should not have happened there as well. I mean, just because she thinks a certain way, she should have still been served just like everybody else.
Well, when you work for Trump, you get what you get.
I don't exactly know what that is, but
It's not a good thing. I didn't vote for him and none of his cabinet.
but should we deny food service just for those reasons?
No, should not.
Okay, guys, we are back. Here's another good question for you. Emotional support animals. Is that the new fad? Paul, you're laughing. Tell me about it.
I understand the need for some people to have it, but I think it's overblown, and I think there should be definitely defined terms of what it is and can be, especially on something like a plane flight. You shouldn't be able to bring anything you want. What if it's a miniature pony?
No.
There have to be limits.
It could be a chicken.
Hey, that's all I think. You
It
got
could be a
limits.
chicken.
Yeah. Do you want to sit next to a chicken?
I mean, if it helps, if the person is actually really sick. For me,
Would you eat the chicken? Would you kill it?
no, of course not. Like for me, it's really about the perspective. All these things that we have to use, like, are we now gonna use them for the wrong reasons? Like, I want to take this, so I'll just register it as an emotional support thing. Like,
Right.
the perspective behind it. That's all it is for me. If you're really sick and that chicken really makes you feel better, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but there could be hygiene issues on a plane flight if it's not in a cage, like a chicken.
Is
running around
that a
scratching
regulated
people.
chicken? I mean, how do we know it's not sick
Well,
or
is it a
something like
Kentucky
that?
Fried Chicken? You haven't said it. Sonia, what do you think about that?
I do agree that it shouldn't be abused, but just as a personal example, working in a restaurant, there was a guy who came in who actually had a lovebird as his emotional support animal, and
Was the bird his lover?
What is a lovebird?
It's a parakeet.
yeah, it's a very colorful parakeet, but he had it on his shoulder, and honestly, bird was quiet, just sat there, and he'd been in the theater a couple of times, and it's kind of interesting, like you said, being in a restaurant, you've got animals, food, things like that, but I think it's okay, like you said, if you have regulations and you know the rules, and it's not abused, because some people are just like, I just don't want to leave Fluffy at home today.
Right. Like some.
I never leave Fluffy
Some
at
put
him.
him in the briefcase, and,
Fluff.
a little puppy dog or a little kitty cat, and they take him out and
Sounds like you're
Just
talking from
because they wanted
experience,
to.
Mike.
Not
Can you
since I
put
was
your
a
kitty in a
child.
briefcase?
All right,
Since I was a
all right, enough. Let's go to the streets.
And so, as a matter of fact, I support the guiding eyes for the blind. I think service animals provide a wonderful, wonderful service for people and should be supported by everybody.
It seems to be, and I don't have a problem with that. I think it has its purpose. I do kind of question, are people taking advantage of that situation right now?
Okay, guys. If God exists, so does Satan. Now, I have never seen either one. Has anyone? What do you think about this?
I don't know if anyone, if it's possible to actually see God. I don't know. I haven't heard that defined. Maybe Moses. I do think people have spiritual experiences. I've had many. I'm not going to talk about them here today. I don't necessarily know if I believe that if there's a heaven, there has to be a hell. I'm not sure that that's some sort of a truth, or if there's. I do believe there's good and evil, but I'm not so sure about the devil. But spiritually, I think there's a higher power.
Sonia?
Just touching on what you said about the spirituality, I've kind of been wondering that myself. Just an example, a biblical example, I guess, is it Jacob wrestling with the angel or something like that? And the one thing that came into my mind was the whole idea of like, in darkness you struggle against me, turn and see my face. It's almost like one cannot exist without the other.
Yeah.
And so, in a weird way, some of the most horrible things that you think could possibly happen might be the things that lead you to the light. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bilha?
Yes, I do. As I said before, I am a Christian, and I do believe God exists, and I do believe the devil exists.
Oh, God. Why do you look at me like that?
Right?
Okay. Michael, thoughts?
I'm a Christian. I do believe that there's that balance. I do believe God does exist. It's a spiritual belief. Have I ever seen him? No, but I've had spiritual experiences that make me believe that it's there. And then at the opposite side, you see so much evil in this world that you've got to know that there is a devil to this world that balances out the good and evil.
Yeah. I think the important one is when you have a more personal relationship with a God, or God, and you know Him better, then that way you understand more.
Okay. Now, let's listen to what the street public said about that, okay?
I've never seen either one, but I'm sure Satan has tempted me at times, and I do try to talk to God on a daily basis.
I'm not extremely religious. My wife's Catholic, and I do go to Catholic church every so often. But, generally I believe there's a higher being.
Well, you gotta have Satan to have some fun.
There you go.
If not, you're not gonna have the bars and everything else.
Sounds like hell might be fun, huh?
Right.
Well, if God is present, Satan is present. Just like you got day and you have night.
So they're both out there.
You can't have one without the other.
Okay, guys. You ready for a really, really... well, this question is more for the younger, hip people, although everybody uses a smartphone now. So, and everybody has a relationship, whether it's with another person or Fluffy the parakeet. But is it okay to end a relationship via text?
Oh no.
Let's go to Bilha. Look at it. Say that again, Bilha.
No.
Why not?
Because that's disrespectful.
I hope her boyfriend's listening to this. I hope her
me too.
boyfriend's listening.
Me too.
I mean, it's just disrespectful. The least you can do is at least... Okay, this is still disrespectful, but you can at least call, or you can meet up and, let them know why this is not working. It's more mature that way.
But what if the person's just too emotionally charged and they don't know how else to do it? and
then that
it's
means like
acceptable in today's
they
society.
keep doing that in their real life issues, and it ends up to be like you probably don't want to be with someone like that anyways. If you can't face this one small thing, how am I supposed to face their life with you?
Does it matter how long they've been dating, though? If you went on 2 dates, you don't really need to. You can just text them. I'm sorry, this isn't working out.
Well,
right.
you're not really dating someone if you just went on 2 dates. That's different. That's different. I went on with 2
Paul,
dates.
something to be learned there.
Like if we went on 2 dates, we went on 2 dates. If we're dating, we're dating.
Right.
Okay, Sonia,
Yeah.
what do you have to say?
No, I do agree it's disrespectful.
Oh, so you got my text.
I did.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Now,
Let's talk about it right here. No, I do agree it's disrespectful. I mean, like you said, it just depends on how long the person has been dating. But I feel like if you've had a relationship with someone, or even have to consider that, I think it's better to just talk to them in person.
okay, well, let me ask.
Wait,
Go ahead.
I want to make a point with this. I think context matters, especially if the person has been abusive to you, physically, verbally. You don't want to go meet up with a guy who hit you and say, "Hey, I'm breaking up." I mean, I think sometimes it is good to have that distance to be able to say, "Hey, you abused me. I'm putting out a, some sort of a what is that order called?"
No, that's a whole different.
Yeah, restraining order on it,
That's a
whatever
whole
it may
different-
be.
Yeah, we're talking
I'm
about.
just saying casually.
This is
I'm sorry,
just
I
like,
will see you.
yes.
So-
Whoa, that's different.
Right. Well, I mean,
But it is.
all
It could be.
sort of,
It could be that kind of
Yeah.
situation going on. In that case, yeah, Paul. I think then you're valid. Then yeah, a text message is probably your only option you have at that point, because you're probably texting and running to the police at the same time.
No, that's
The
not
relationship is that bad.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, but
stalkers.
just
Ruben, stalkers. Hello.
thank you. No, but okay. So listen. So you're in a relationship, say for 8 months, everything seems to be doing great, and suddenly your boyfriend, girlfriend, other half, texts you saying that it's over. Now, should you be angry at that person, or should you be angry at yourself that you didn't see it coming, that you didn't realize you were dating an asshole?
Can I give you my recommendation what to do if they do that?
Go ahead.
Good luck. Block them on your phone. Never speak to them again. And don't ever give them any more satisfaction than that if they're going to do that.
So, but what if you're living together and they're still?
Well, you can't break up over the text if you're
Text.
living. That's not really realistic.
Okay, this is getting too
Well,
far.
come home and you're gonna find all the stuff out.
So you
on
see
the
they're
front
sitting
lawn.
next to each other on the couch? They're sitting next to each other.
I think though you should take your time.
Everybody quiet. Bill has something to say. We know it's important.
I think in everything you should take time and think about it. Don't be too crazy or don't be too relaxed. Think about it. Think if the person is worth it. You can try to reach out one time, and if they don't do anything, then you know you can.
Wait, if they break up with you on a text, why would you reach out? You just say, block them, go ahead with your life. They're not worth it.
It's for your own sanity. Sometimes we need closure.
And they could just be
Especially
making an
if the
emotional
person really meant something
decision.
to you.
Yeah.
See,
What do you think,
I
Simon?
don't feel that way. I think you should just let it go. And you know what? They're going to be the one, I guarantee, who regrets it. Guaranteed. Because if you say,
I know
good
that,
luck.
but it's for you. You have to be the mature one, the more,
That- right, that's
the bigger,
mature, is
the
say good
bigger
luck.
person. Because if you block them too, then you're acting just like them.
Well, they're the one who
What
actually
makes
broke
you
up with
better
you. You're just agreeing with their terms.
Okay, let's agree
Well, that's a
to
different question. The
disagree.
question is then, should you have to talk to
No,
them?
you're not begging for their attention. You're just being mature and be like, okay, so we are over.
All right, guys.
You're
Time
not gonna
is.
try to come
Wait,
back.
time is up.
Sonia's words. You missed her.
Well, I blocked
Give the
her.
woman a break here.
I blocked her.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
listen. I asked the same question out in the streets. Let's look at it.
A relationship's important enough that you do it person to person.
It's allowed.
Are you married or you have a boyfriend?
No.
So you're good. No,
Good. I mean, it works. I mean, sometimes you wouldn't want to face the pressing. It's too emotional, and sometimes you just don't want to deal with the people. If it's over, it's over. So just text, it's over.
Okay, guys. Luckily for you, this is the last question. Okay? Now, pay attention because this gets complicated. I might even mispronounce and get my tongue tied, which wouldn't be the first time. I kind of enjoy that. But here we go. The North American Man-Boy Love Association, that is known as NAMBLA. And again, remember, it says Man-Boy Love Association. It's a pedophilia advocacy group. The KKK is a white supremacist hate group. They are both protected by the Constitution. It allows them to exist. Shouldn't we change that?
That's a difficult topic.
I honestly think it should be legislated if it's advocating illegal activity like things between men and boys. There's got to be a limit, and KKK is a hate group. They should be allowed to exist, but they should be regulated, and people should keep an eye on them to what they're doing. If they're advocating hate and physical violence, if they're advocating physical violence, then they should be. I'm not really sure how to say that.
Okay, Bill or Mike, you have something to say, Mike.
Yeah, I have something to say. I do. Yeah, they should exist. I mean, our Constitution allows for it. Doesn't mean that their actions are right. It's disturbing, especially the pedophilia. It's extremely disturbing that these adults have a group that get together that want to play with little boys. I mean, that's just pretty sick. And the KKK, the same there. That any group that wants to get together to just be mean to other humans because of their skin or religion, it's not right. When they cross the line is when they take it from a verbal action to a physical action. That's when they're committing the crime. So of course we have laws in place for that. So should they be able to? Under the law, yeah, they should be able to.
Because under the law is, it's guaranteed by the Constitution. Now, just because of that doesn't mean that the Constitution is not wrong in that particular point, and we can amend the Constitution. Why shouldn't we?
Because then you get into the point of freedom of speech. Well, maybe I don't like something that Paul's speaking or saying or how he's saying it, so to me I'm offended by this now, so I want a law that prevents anybody from saying or feeling the same way that he does.
So you're saying, where do we stop if we start here? How about we stop right there? How about we stop with racial hate crimes and pedophilia? We stop right there.
But wait a minute, hold on. The advocating violence, isn't that illegal?
Yes,
I'm not sure. So I thought it was illegal. I'm confused. I don't know the law there. I assume it's illegal to.
Sonia, what do you say? Will you bake me a cake?
Yes, anytime. I've never heard of the Man-Boy
Love Association.
No.
Well, it's there.
It's real.
But you've heard of the KKK.
Yes.
Should we abolish this? Should we prevent groups like these from having the rights that that good people have?
With the KKK, it's kind of interesting. I don't know a whole lot about the laws and everything like that, but are they not just a hate group, but are they registered as a terrorist group?
No,
that's an interesting question. But to go deeper, is hate speech illegal? Because you can take that same thing and say that the Nation of Islam has exhibited extreme hate speech. So should that be illegal?
Well, that is the question.
The violent part, yes. I think you're allowed to hate. I don't like people to hate, but I think you're allowed to.
Listen, why don't we go next? Bill, you had something else to say?
I do. Maybe not very much into the law, but I think that's a little bit contradicting, especially the love man child. Because if you do the action, the same law is gonna arrest you,
right?
And then the same Constitution is supporting this. It's a little bit contradicting. So, and also the KKK. That's just. it's just a deep topic. I can say a lot of things, but
Okay.
it's just a balance right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's listen to what the public.
That's a tough one. I think change has to come from within. What we should strive for is to get rid of all the hate in the world, whether it be black and white or, homosexual or whatever. There's just no place for it anymore.
It's one of those things that has to be highly discussed. But in general, you can't stop in my opinion, you cannot stop the freedom of the press.
And hang all the pedophiles by their nuts. Is that going to come out just like that?
Just like that.
Just like that.